What is going on, IF Warriors? This is your boy Edward V, and today I got a treat for you. Today we're going to break down the results of my 1 month intermittent fasting transformation. Stay tuned. Okay, so about 5 years ago, I did a transformation video that has amassed about 600,000 views. And in that video, I did already break down what I did specifically in terms of what I ate and how I went to the gym. And that's this video right here. Exactly what I did for my 1 month transformation. And then I also have the transformation video itself. But what a lot of people don't know is that after I did that, I gained so much confidence in my ability to lose weight that I actually began to bulk maybe about a month after that transformation video. And the transformation video was in January 1st, so I did about 28 days and I went from about 186 to about 174. I then began to bulk a little bit so that I could build a little bit more muscle mass, and then I did the 1 month transformation all over again. Now, the reason I did the 1 month transformation all over again within that same time frame, within that year, was because I decided after bulking for a while and reaching about 186, I actually was bulking and I got up to 186, which is around the same exact amount of weight that I had before I did the transformation. I decided, no, you know what? I'd rather just be lean instead of building this massive amount of muscle. I'd rather just be lean. And that was because I had just started at that time. I didn't even understand really how I should focus my bulking, how I should do it as clean as possible. I was simply increasing my caloric intake and being at a caloric surplus so that I can gain weight and gain some muscle. And I just was so comfortable in how fast I lost the weight that I figured I'll just be able to lose the body fat quick anyways. So I went ahead and did another 1 month. There's some clips here of me already at a lower weight. I recorded myself, but I didn't actually record myself throughout the timeline like I did for the first video because I didn't feel any need to do it. Originally, the first video, I recorded myself not to make a video, but it was actually just because I wanted to see how I look in video form rather than just relying on the scale. I wanted to see how my body fat actually looked on my body. So that's the reason why I recorded myself, and I do recommend you do that because it will really motivate you when you see how much weight you're losing every single day when you record yourself. You don't need a fancy camera, just use your iPhone. That's what I did for my 1 month transformation video. But the second time around, I didn't record myself because two things. One, I already knew that the thing worked because it was the fastest amount of weight that I've lost ever in my entire life. And two, I wasn't making a transformation video because I already did a 1 month transformation video. So I felt it would have been redundant to just build another 1 month transformation video. So instead, what I did was I recorded myself occasionally, and these are the recordings, the lost recordings that people have never seen, which is this right here. And the weight loss was at the same exact speed, which also blew my mind. I just literally gained some of it back and then lost it all in the same exact speed as I did when I had it to begin with. This time I took even more measurements. I actually paid attention to my lean mass. I actually used body fat calipers to determine where I was, how much was my muscle mass during that time frame. So I actually measured all of that stuff to see how much I retained. And I do have the numbers here. So I started the process on May 31st. I lost the weight the whole month of January. I started bulking in between that, and I started the process of losing the weight again May 31st. Now at this point, I was 14% body fat based on the fat caliper readings with the chart that I was using at the time. My weight was 185.4. My lean weight was 159.45. My muscle mass was around 20 pounds. And I set a goal for myself to be at around 165 with about 4% body fat. And I was very aggressive with this goal. I was gonna stop at nothing until I reached 4% based on the chart and the caliper readings that I was utilizing at the time. Now on day 7, I went down from 185 all the way down to 180. I was still 14% body fat. My lean weight went down from 159 to 155. Now, a lot of people would say, oh my God, that's all his muscles, that's his muscle tissues. No, the fat caliper measurements can only determine determine how much body fat you have in your body. It just determines the skin fold that you have. So every other thing is your lean weight. So I put everything in there, and that even includes water weight. So when you go onto a diet like this, sometimes right at the beginning, you'll lose all that water weight. You'll see that my lean mass actually starts to go up sometimes by pounds, which makes no sense, as I'm not going to just gain 2 pounds of muscle within a week. But in that moment, I was a little naive, so I did mark it as losing 5 pounds of muscle. On day 14, I had left 14% body fat and got to about 11.6% body fat. My weight broke the 80s and went into 178.4. If you notice, my lean weight at that point went up. That's basically water fluctuation. That's glycogen fluctuation. Fluctuations in glycogen and water is moving this lean weight up and down. Remember, the fat calipers only were giving me the readings for my skin fold, and that's just measuring body fat. So any other thing that's going to create weight fluctuation in my body, I'm marking it down as lean weight. Day 21, 11.2% body fat. You'll see that my lean weight dipped a bit, but you'll also see that my weight went down to 174, which means that I released a lot of water weight during that time. That's the fluctuation that I want you to understand. When it comes to actually losing weight, there's constant fluctuations in water weight coming in and going out of your body, coming in and going out of your body. Depending on how aggressive you are with cutting your body fat, you may actually see that fluctuation throw you off, because the scale may drop but then increase above that level and then drop further down later on in the month. Day 28, you can see that I'm at 10.5% body fat. Weight is now at 170.2. Lean weight, you see it goes down to about 152. So I'm losing more water, I'm releasing more glycogen, I'm getting myself lower and lower and lower in weight, and a lot of things are starting to come off of my body. Now, my goal was to get to 4% body fat. So I kept going past that 1 month transformation, but you can see that my weight actually went lower than what my weight did from my first original 1 month transformation. So I actually lost weight faster in 1 month during my second round. For the stats, I'll stop it right here because I'm just matching the 1 month transformation and explaining its results. But I continued on that path, kept going, and it took me about maybe 4 months to actually break into that 4% body fat range based on the calipers. Now, I might not have been 4%, I might have been 6%, I might have been 7%, whatever it is, but based on the caliper readings that I utilized with the fat calipers and the chart at the time, it showed me the number 4% for my body fat. And that second round of taking it up to the same weight and then transforming it again and going faster and lower than I did before just gave me much more confidence with the intermittent fasting protocol to keep on utilizing it in the event that I bulked a little bit too much and I need to take myself back down to sub 10 in terms of body fat percentage. Now, during that time, I was constantly researching intermittent fasting. Until this day, I still research intermittent fasting literally every single day, looking at new studies, reading studies. Sometimes studies take me days or weeks to really read it and get into the meat of it and search the references that they have to make sure that these are coming from reputable scientists or doctors that are within that field. One thing I did not change was my actual time frame for eating and my time frame for fasting. I always used the warrior diet, and I always ate between 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. And I still to this day use that same exact intermittent fasting protocol and time frame. And no matter how old I get, no matter how much older I am from that moment, the speed of weight loss still remains very, very similar. As I get closer to 170, 160, it starts to slow down because I'm getting at a lower and lower body fat percentage. But I do want to mention one thing. There have been times when I've done these types of transformation or weight loss and the scale would go down and then up but not as high, and then down lower and then up. And why I want to mention this is because if someone was 185 pounds and then they lost 3 pounds and they're 182 pounds the next week, that will motivate them a lot. But if they get on the scale the next week after that and they see that they're 183.4 pounds, that would drive them absolutely nuts and could drive them even to the point of quitting whatever they're doing, literally with that 1 week, without knowing that if they were to go one more week, they could actually end up being 179. And then it's not too far-fetched to go another week after that and then be 181. But the thing that you want to pay attention to is your trending direction. This person, although they're 181 and they were 179 the week before, they're still trending down. They were 185 up here, went to 182, went up to 183, went down to 179, went up to 180, but then they keep going down. Eventually, you will get to the weight that you desire or the goal weight that you're looking for. And the reason I wanted to show you guys these results is because I want you to see how things can fluctuate in your body, how your lean mass is going up and down, changing because there's water weight and there's glycogen, and how those things can throw you off, but not to be discouraged. Yes, it happens to be that within the 1 month transformation that I had for the first time and the second time, that it was pretty streamlined going down. Notice there were moments where the weight was just right there, it didn't even move. There, even in my first transformation video, I skipped week 3 because there's no movement. I just go right to the final week, so to give that visual of the difference between what it was on week 2 and what it is on week 3, plus to speed up the video. There was no movement. I think I was stuck at like 176 and it didn't move, but I didn't deter myself. I didn't say, okay, I gotta do something completely different now because it's not moving. No, all I did was continue the same routine, and it continued to drop. It just continued to drop, just continued to drop. And that's what I did in the second round of doing the intermittent fasting transformation. I just, whenever I saw that I was 172 and it was 172 the next week, I still kept going with the same rhythm. I didn't change anything up. I didn't change calories up. I didn't do anything. And it still continued to drop. It still continued to drop. That's the thing. You have to be confident in the method. Understand that if you're doing everything right, it will drop. Even if it's stuck at one point, it's stuck for so many different reasons, which is why I implore everyone to use body fat calipers, because that number on the scale won't tell you the full story, and you need to be able to get all the data points to know exactly or get closer to the idea of what exactly is happening, so you can have a good understanding body fat loss versus your actual weight loss. So I want to go ahead and thank my patrons for my Patreon, and I'm going to put their names right up here. And I'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace.